Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like something was missing from your silhouette? I used to feel the same. No matter how much I trained my chest and back, my shoulders never took shape. My upper body looked lifeless, until I realized, well-developed shoulders are the secret to an athletic physique. Through trial and error, I figured out which exercises actually work. And no, it's not about dozens of fancy variations, just a few carefully selected movements that stimulate each part of the deltoid in a strategic and intense way. Today, when someone asks me, what's the best shoulder workout, I answer with confidence. Less is more. But only if it's the right movement at the right angle. And in this video, I'll show you exactly which are the only exercises you truly need. Oh, and if you're looking for something even more targeted, know that we have an exclusive guide developed especially for you, with a weekly progression designed to speed up your results. But heads up, it's only available for a limited time. Now let's train smart. Before we even pick up a weight, let's talk about why we're focusing so intensely on shoulders. Think about any physique you admire, whether it's a classic bodybuilder, a modern athlete, or a movie star. What do they all have in common? A strong, wide shoulder structure. It's the visual anchor of the upper body. Broad shoulders create a powerful silhouette that signifies strength and fitness. They are the capstones of your physique, tying your arms, chest, and back together into one cohesive athletic unit. Without them, your frame can look narrow and incomplete, no matter how developed your other muscles are. This isn't just about looking good though. Functionally, your shoulder joint, the deltoid complex, is one of the most mobile and versatile joints in your body. This mobility is a double-edged sword. It allows for incredible range of motion but also makes it susceptible to injury if not properly strengthened and stabilized. By building strong deltoids, specifically targeting the anterior, lateral, and posterior heads, you're not just building muscle, you're creating a suit of armor for your shoulder girdle, protecting yourself from potential injuries and enhancing your functional strength for everyday life and all your other training endeavors. The goal of this video is efficiency. We're going to focus on compound movements that hit multiple heads at once, and isolation exercises that surgically target the specific areas needed for that round, 3D look. Many people overtrain their front delts, which already get a ton of work from chest presses, and completely neglect their rear delts. This leads to muscular imbalances, poor posture with rounded shoulders, and a physique that looks impressive from the front but flat from the side. Our approach ensures balanced development for both aesthetics and long-term joint health. We're going to cover the absolute best pressing movements for overall mass and the most effective raises and rows for sculpting the finer details. I want you to understand the why behind each exercise, not just the how. Knowing which head of the deltoid you're targeting and how to properly engage it is the difference between mindlessly lifting weights and intelligently building your body. This knowledge is what will separate you from the crowd and accelerate your progress, so get ready to take notes. We're starting with the foundational mass builders and then moving into the targeted sculpting work. Each exercise we discussed today has earned its place in this routine for its proven effectiveness. There are no filler movements here. This is the definitive guide to building the shoulders you want. Let's start with a classic powerhouse for building raw size and strength. Our first exercise is a cornerstone of any serious shoulder routine, the dumbbell overhead press. This is a fundamental movement for building overall mass and strength, primarily targeting the anterior or front and lateral or side deltoids. The beauty of using dumbbells is that it forces each shoulder to work independently. This helps to identify and correct any strength imbalances you might have between your left and right sides, which is crucial for symmetrical development and injury prevention. Unlike a barbell, dumbbells require more stabilization, engaging smaller supporting muscles around the shoulder joint. To execute this movement properly, start seated on a bench with back support, holding a dumbbell in each hand at shoulder height, palms facing forward. Your feet should be planted firmly on the ground to create a stable base. Before you press, engage your core. Think about pulling your belly button in towards your spine. This is not an ab exercise, but a braced core protects your lower back and provides the stability needed to transfer maximum force into the press. Avoid arching your back excessively as you push the weight up. From this starting position, press the dumbbells straight overhead until your arms are fully extended but not locked out. A common mistake is to let the dumbbells drift too far out to the sides or too far forward. Imagine you're pushing them up along two parallel tracks that converge slightly at the top, but don't let them clang together. The path of the weight should be controlled and deliberate. At the peak of the movement, your biceps should be roughly in line with your ears. The eccentric or lowering phase is just as important as the press itself. Don't just let the weights drop. Control the descent, bringing the dumbbells back down to the starting position at your shoulders. This controlled negative is where you can create a lot of muscle damage, which is a key stimulus for growth. Aim for a full range of motion on every single rep. Partial reps have their place, but for building a solid foundation, full range of motion is king. For variations, you can perform this exercise standing, which will engage your core even more for stabilization. However, the seated version allows you to focus more on isolating the shoulders and potentially lift heavier weight with stricter form. You can also try a neutral grip with your palms facing each other. This can sometimes be more comfortable for those with shoulder impingement issues, and slightly alters the muscular emphasis. Start with a weight you can control for 8 to 12 reps with perfect form. If the dumbbell press is the foundation, the barbell military press is the undisputed king for packing on sheer mass and developing raw power in your shoulders. This compound movement allows you to progressively overload with heavier weight than almost any other shoulder exercise, which is a primary driver of muscle hypertrophy. It engages not only your anterior and lateral delts, but also your triceps, upper chest, and core stabilizers to a significant degree. It's a true test of upper body pressing strength. Proper form is non-negotiable here to maximize effectiveness and minimize the risk of injury. Start by setting the barbell in a rack at about shoulder height. Grip the bar slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Your forearms should be perpendicular to the floor when the bar is at the bottom position. Unrack the weight, let it rest on your upper chest and front delts, and take a step back. Your stance should be about shoulder width apart with your feet firmly planted. Before you initiate the press, get tight. Squeeze your glutes, brace your core as if you're about to take a punch, and pull your lats down. This creates a solid, stable platform to press from. The initial part of the lift requires you to slightly tilt your head back to clear a path for the bar. As the bar passes your forehead, push your head through the window so that at the top of the lift, the bar is directly over your spine and your biceps are next to your ears. This ensures the weight is balanced over your center of gravity. The full range of motion is critical. Lower the bar under control all the way back down to your upper chest or clavicle area. A lot of people make the mistake of only coming down to eye or nose level. By cutting the range of motion short, you're leaving gains on the table and not fully stimulating the muscle through its entire contractile range. Touching your chest ensures you're getting a full stretch and activation of the front deltoids. Remember, this is a strict press. Avoid using your legs to generate momentum by bouncing or turning it into a push press. That's a different exercise with a different purpose. The goal here is to isolate the pressing strength of your shoulders and upper body. Focus on moving the weight with pure, controlled force. If you have to use leg drive, the weight is too heavy. Drop the ego, lighten the load, and perfect your form for long-term sustainable gains. Now that we've covered the heavy hitters for mass, let's move on to an exercise that's legendary for its ability to sculpt and define the deltoids, the Arnold press. Named after the iconic Arnold Schwarzenegger, this movement is unique because it combines a rotational component with the overhead press. This isn't just for show. The rotation adds a different stimulus to the muscle, targeting all three heads of the deltoid, with a special emphasis on the anterior and lateral heads, through a longer and more complex range of motion. You'll start seated on a bench holding dumbbells in front of your shoulders with your palms facing your body as if you just finished a bicep curl. This is your starting position. The initial phase of the movement involves rotating your wrists as you begin to press the weights upward. As the dumbbells pass your face, your palms should be rotating to face forward, transitioning into the standard overhead press position. It's a smooth, fluid motion, not two separate movements. The magic of the Arnold press lies in this rotation. It keeps the deltoids under constant tension throughout the entire lift. As you press up and rotate, you're hitting the anterior delt, and as you reach the top, the lateral head is heavily engaged to stabilize and complete the press. The movement path is longer than a standard press, which increases the time under tension for the muscle, a key factor in stimulating muscle growth and creating that detailed, separated look. Once you reach the top, with your arms fully extended and palms facing forward, The descent is a mirror image of the way up. You'll lower the dumbbells while rotating your palms back towards your body, returning to the starting position with the dumbbells in front of your shoulders. Control is paramount here. The temptation can be to rush the rotation, but you want to feel the muscles working through every degree of the movement. Because of the complex nature of this exercise and the constant tension, you won't be able to lift as heavy as you would with a standard dumbbell press, and that's perfectly fine. This exercise is not about ego lifting, it's about the quality of the contraction and the unique stimulus it provides. Focus on a moderate weight that allows you to maintain perfect form for a solid 8 to 12 repetitions. Think of this as a finishing move, designed to carve out the detail and shape of the shoulder. To get that wide V-taper look, you have to prioritize direct work for the medial or lateral head of the deltoid. This is the part of the shoulder that truly builds width and creates that capped, three-dimensional appearance. One of the most effective ways to overload this muscle is with the bent arm lateral raise. By keeping a slight bend in your elbows, you change the mechanics of the lift, allowing you to handle heavier weight than you could with a straight arm version, leading to greater mechanical tension and growth. The key to this exercise is maintaining the bent arm position throughout the entire set. Think of your arm as a solid, fixed lever. Start with the dumbbells at your sides. Bend your elbows to roughly 90 degrees or slightly more open. From here, you're not lifting with your hands, you're driving up with your elbows. Imagine you have strings attached to your elbows, pulling them up and out to the sides until your upper arms are parallel to the floor. Your hands should simply be holding the weight. A crucial tip for maximizing medial delt isolation is to incorporate a slight forward lean. Bend at your hips just a little bit. This small adjustment shifts the line of pull and helps to disengage the front delts, which often try to take over in lateral raises. By leaning forward, you place the medial delt in a more advantageous position to be the prime mover. At the top of the movement, the dumbbells should be in line with or even slightly in front of your torso, not behind. Focus on the contraction at the top. Pause for a split second and squeeze the muscle hard. Think about pushing the walls away from you with your elbows. Then, control the weight on the way down. Don't just let gravity take over. The eccentric portion of the lift is a massive opportunity for growth, so fight the resistance on the way back to the starting position. This control prevents you from using momentum and ensures the tension stays right where you want it, on the side delts. Avoid the common mistake of shrugging the weight up. If you feel your traps taking over, it's a sign the weight is too heavy or your form is breaking down. Your traps will want to help, but your goal is to isolate the delts. Keep your shoulders depressed, away from your ears, and focus on that mind-muscle connection. Drive with the elbows, lean slightly forward, and control the entire movement. This is how you build cannonball delts. Once you've mastered the standard lateral raise, the leaning lateral raise is an advanced variation that can take your side delt development to the next level. By leaning your body away from the anchor point, you fundamentally change the resistance curve of the exercise. This technique allows you to overload the medial deltoid in its most contracted state, at the very top of the range of motion, which is something a standard lateral raise struggles to do effectively. It's an incredible tool for shocking the muscle into new growth. To set this up, you'll need a stable anchor point, like a squat rack pole or a sturdy machine. Stand next to it and grab on with your non-lifting hand. Lean your entire body away from the anchor, keeping your arms straight. The further you lean, the more challenging the exercise becomes. Your feet should be close to the base of the anchor point and your body should be at a distinct angle. Hold a dumbbell in your free hand, letting it hang straight down. The initial part of the lift will feel easier than a standard lateral raise. This is normal. The real work begins as you raise the dumbbell. Because of the angle of your body, gravity provides increasing resistance as you lift the weight higher. The primary benefit here is that you're able to maintain tension on the medial delt through a much greater range of motion. You're effectively taking the muscle to a point of peak contraction that's hard to achieve otherwise. Lift the dumbbell up and out to your side, maintaining a slight bend in your elbow until your arm is parallel to the floor or even slightly higher. At the top, you should feel an intense squeeze in your side delt. This is the money-making part of the rep. The tension here will be immense. Hold it for a moment to maximize that peak contraction. Don't swing the weight or use momentum. The lean is already giving you a mechanical advantage, so focus on pure, strict form. Control the negative. Lower the dumbbells slowly. feeling the stretch in your deltoid as it returns to the starting position. The lean allows you to keep tension on the muscle even at the very bottom of the rep, a point where tension is usually lost in a standard raise. This constant tension throughout the entire range of motion makes the leaning lateral raise a superior hypertrophy exercise. Use a lighter weight than you would for other raises. The mechanics of the lean make it incredibly challenging.